Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
Because let's be very clear, strong men, men who are truly role models, don't need to put down women to make themselves feel powerful. People who are truly strong lift others up. People who are truly powerful bring others together.
Michelle Obama is overreacting and making a big deal out of nothing. I was just joking with her, just a harmless comment with no bad intent, but she took it and framed it as racism and a personal attack, which is not how I meant it at all. I'll admit, saying that inside the White House wasn't very respectful. But anyone who knows me knows I've always made jokes like this after winning matches or in casual situations. It's just how I talk sometimes. I've even said worse things before, and it was never turned into something this serious. I was just trying to lighten the mood a bit. What I said is nothing close to the kind of trash talk athletes throw at each other before games. So I don't understand why this one comment is being singled out. Is it because her last name is Obama? Or because of her skin color? When did everything in the U.S. start getting turned into racial politics like this? I can apologize and accept consequences if needed, but I still don't think I did anything wrong.
Don't know Michelle Obama, so how are you going to call her a man and then say you were joking when you said it, like you were just joking back and forth between friends? Y'all are not friends. You've never even been in the same room as Michelle Obama. And then when Michelle called it out for what it is, this is racism, then you want to say, oh no, it was just a joke. It wasn't supposed to be racist. And now he wants to say that she's overreacted. You must have got hit one too many times in the head, because first off, that's not even a joke. Where's the joke in that? You just called her a man. Where's the joke? The fact that you were fighting at the White House.
This guy is saying it was just a joke after tarnishing Michelle Obama's name.
Bro, that's my mom.
No, she's not. She's a man. She can't have kids, dude. There's no pictures.
She had me.
There's no pictures.
Why would you say that?
You got proof? Look at you. You don't even got proof. You don't even got proof. Don't even try.
I thought people was just trolling, saying that Michelle Obama was a man. Y'all actually believe that shit. Now listen, I'm a conservative, and one thing I always hated is people like spreading fake news. And a lot of y'all hate fake news so much that y'all didn't even try to search up Michelle Obama kid pictures. Like, it's right here, and the pictures y'all been using to prove it were AI, and it was obvious. And then there was videos where it was like edited and dubbed. One thing I've always hated is I've always hated when people spread fake shit. Like, I understand if you guys were joking or trying to continue a fake narrative just to piss people off. But the ones who actually believe this shit, listen, I got a beach house in Idaho that I can probably sell y'all for the low.
Josh Hokit, do you really know Michelle Obama? I'm sure this is the first time for her to hear your name. You know, you don't know someone, you start ranting about that person. I'm not picking the side, but what he did was wrong. Let's watch this.
Josh Hokit is an absolute disgrace to America and the UFC. This guy wins the biggest fight of his life against Derek Lewis at the White House, and he decides to call Michelle Obama a man?
Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
It takes a really small man to take his biggest moment and use it to attack a woman by calling her a man, especially with the long history of black women being called too masculine, and that's a common trope that they have constantly overcome. But Josh Hokit doesn't care. He's just trying to find any possible way that he can to go viral. The bottom line is you can have your opinions, you can debate policy all day long, but that right there, that's low and unnecessary. This is a fighter who had the entire world watching him in one of the most prestigious houses in all of the world. And instead of lifting people up and showing class, he goes for a cheap shot, using a tired and disrespectful trope that has been used for generations to attack women. It diminishes the moment, it diminishes him, because real strength doesn't come from tearing women down, and especially not in your victory speech. Real strength comes from knowing when to show respect, and that wasn't it.
I don't care what nobody say. Now, I don't know if she a man or not. I don't think she is. But I will say, y'all quit lying to this woman, act like she cute, though. Michelle Obama is not a good-looking woman. And it's okay to not be good looking. Everybody can't be fine, like my wife. Everybody can't be fine like that. If you a good person, then be a good person. You can't not be fine and be mean. You gotta pick one. If you fine, maybe you can have a little rough edges. But if you ain't fine, you can't also not be nice. Anyway, let's go to the next topic. Starbucks. Y'all tripping. I want to GoFundMe for this kid. Can somebody find this kid and a couple of employees that got fired over this? There is no way on God's green earth that you should fire your employees after they had to fight for their lives during a robbery. I'm glad they started throwing them hands.
Santa Cruz thinks Josh Hokit deserves to be in jail. Do you agree? This guy deserves to be in jail. Let's listen to what he's saying.
I did not fuck with Josh Hokit's comment. I didn't like it. I didn't like the whole calling Michelle Obama man. Like
former president.
Am I gonna chuckle? Like, yeah, am I gonna chuckle at how crazy it is? Yeah, sure. Yeah. But it's like I don't fuck with that. Like, no, like honestly, man, Obama served this country, and you can have your differences of opinion with whoever the sitting president is, but like they are serving this country.
Michelle Obama will always be a threat to white supremacy. Do you know what white supremacists hate more than a successful black man? They have a strong hate for successful black women, especially an Ivy League educated, successful black woman that is standing in all her grace, standing in all her glory, standing in all her excellence. The fact that she was able to beat the odds intentionally set against her to become the woman that she is today, she will always be a threat to America. That is why they are always coming for her looks. And it's so unfortunate that just because this lady's husband was the first black president of America over 10 years ago, we're talking 3 terms ago. 3 terms ago, this lady, she minds her business. She does not bother anybody. She does her thing, her books, her podcast, literally so graceful, so respectful, just classy. You know, Trump can't relate. And the fact that she, specifically her, not even her husband, she is always at the forefront of these people's minds because how dare she? How dare she beat the odds, and how dare she be successful? She's a black woman. She was only meant to be a nanny, a caretaker, and a baby mule. That is how they see black women. They have never humanized black women in America. That is why you always say, that's why we always see that they say it's the white man, it's the white woman, then it's the black man, and then it's the black woman, and the black woman is only meant to carry the burden of the rest of the group. How dare a black woman break away from that and make something of herself and do it gracefully? That is why they're upset, and that is why they're always coming for her looks.
Guess how much Josh Hokit lost after insulting First Lady Michelle Obama? Josh Hokit showed elite athletic talent from a young age. At 6, he became a U.S. youth wrestling champion. In high school, he won the 2016 CIF California State Championship, ranked number 3 nationally, and was also a key football player. He turned down top wrestling scholarships because Drexel University had no football program, and instead joined Fresno State as a walk-on. In college, he placed 5th at the NCAA Wrestling Championships and became an All-American, Fresno State's first in 16 years. After graduation, he signed with the NFL's San Francisco 49ers as an undrafted free agent, but was cut within 2 years, later moving into MMA. With his wrestling background, he built a winning streak in Bellator and LFA, and in 2025 earned a UFC contract through Dana White's Contender Series. At the White House Freedom 250 event, he defeated Derek Lewis and entered the heavyweight top 5. He was set for major income growth from fights and endorsements, but after a controversial interview involving First Lady Michelle Obama, backlash led to multiple sponsors pulling out within 24 hours. The incident is estimated to have cost him over $1.5 million in direct and indirect income, leaving his net worth at around $1 million.
There's a question that's been circulating online and on all the social media platforms about this specific woman. And the question is, who the hell does Michelle Obama think she is? Simply put, she's exactly who the hell she knows she is. Let's get into it. Y'all were this close to coming for me. I could feel it. I could feel it through the screen. Y'all are about to jump me. First and foremost, she is not just a former first lady. Nope. She is not simply the wife of a president. Nope. Michelle Obama is one of the most accomplished women to ever walk through the doors of the White House. Let's start with the facts, because she was already somebody before the world caught up. She grew up on the south side of Chicago, and then she graduated from Princeton University, and then she also graduated from Harvard Law School. She was an attorney at a prestigious Chicago law firm. She served as an executive at the University of Chicago Medical Center. She launched initiatives that improved public health, championed military families, and inspired millions of young people to pursue education. Her memoir, Becoming, became one of the best-selling books in modern history. Her words have moved audiences across continents. Her example has transformed generations. And yet, despite all of those accomplishments, Michelle Obama has spent much of her public life confronting something deeply American: the relentless dehumanization of Black women. For centuries, Black women have been judged against a beauty standard that was never designed to include them at all. A standard rooted in whiteness, a standard that celebrated European features while diminishing African features, a standard that portrayed Black women as less feminine, less delicate, less worthy of admiration and protection. From slavery to segregation to modern media, Black women have been forced to endure stereotypes that question their beauty, their intelligence, and even their womanhood. And Michelle Obama shattered every single one of those lies. She walked into the White House with brilliance, grace, strength, humor, and authenticity. She didn't ask for permission to belong. She already belonged. She didn't shrink herself to make others comfortable. She stood tall so others could see what was possible. That's why she matters to so many, because every little Black girl who saw Michelle Obama saw something larger than politics. She saw possibility. She saw that excellence does not require approval. She saw that dignity does not require permission. She saw that history can be rewritten by those bold enough to step into it. Michelle Obama is not remarkable because she became First Lady. She was already remarkable. Michelle Obama is remarkable because she reminded an entire generation that brilliance cannot be erased, excellence cannot be diminished, and no amount of prejudice can outshine the power of a person who knows exactly who they are. And that is a lesson all of America still needs to learn.
Michelle Obama is a man. That was said on the White House lawn yesterday, which was Trump's 80th birthday. But you had the time to say Michelle Obama is a man. I think we all can agree Michelle Obama is a man. America's 250. That's what this hoorah big circus act on the White House South Lawn was supposed to be about. America's 250. But your obsession, these racist obsession with the Obamas, it has to be studied. Mind you, Bush had the lowest approval rate before Trump. Obama, approval rate, bam. Everybody loved him. The obsession is real. You couldn't tell your fearless leader happy 80th. You had to assault the former First Lady. Insult. By calling her a man on the White House South Lawn. Her stomping grounds. Her old crib.
Can I comment on the bullshit?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Dana White's full of shit.
Sure.
Dana White was in the ring, and you saw the look on his face. You saw the look on Joe Rogan's face. Joe Rogan didn't say anything. Joe Rogan was like, but he didn't say anything. He had the mic in his hand.
He kind of ended the interview, didn't he?
Yeah, he kind of, and then you look over there, Dana White didn't say anything. Dana White didn't say anything until after the backlash. And that's what happens in our community. People, ooh, that's bad, but they don't say anything. They don't do anything. That was just past insulting. And out of all the presidents that's ever been elected office, they had a microscope all the way up his ass so he could open his mouth and it would shine out. So anything, it's like for the level of ignorance for anybody to even say that, the way she's been the most presidential first lady ever. And then, and I'm going to talk about Cormier. So now, for Cormier to be black and not even make a comment on that.
I saw somebody say
the name should be Cooner.
I saw somebody say something about, but damn, this reminds me of the Kevin Hart roast and nobody said nothing. It was talking about that the announcer, whatever they were saying. How did he not say anything? But yeah.
So Josh Hokit, whatever the hell his name is, called Michelle Obama a man after his fight at the UFC. You testosterone-fueled, little-dicked, even smaller-brained piece of fucking shit. You get one of the biggest moments of your life, a microphone in your hand, cameras rolling, millions of people watching, and the best thing your brain can produce is an insult aimed at Michelle Obama? That's it? That's the grand fucking intellectual achievement? I mean, you didn't even finish your degree before you dropped out of Fresno State, you worthless fuck. But somehow you've appointed yourself the authority on a woman who graduated from Princeton and Harvard Law. Think about that. Michelle earned degrees from two of the most prestigious universities on earth. She practiced law, served as a first lady, raised a family under a microscope, and represented America around the world with grace and intelligence. Meanwhile, you're becoming famous for acting like a little bitch-ass sniveling shit in the comment section of a conspiracy meme. Congratulations, you've achieved what every drunk guy at a dive bar achieves after midnight, you fucking idiot. I mean, why is it weak men always mistake cruelty for strength? They think being loud is the same thing as being fucking smart. They think humiliating people makes them look more powerful. I mean, when somebody's accomplishments tower over yours, you've got two fucking choices. You can improve yourself, or you can try to tear them down. And you choose option 2 every goddamn time. Michelle's legacy is already secure. Books will be written about her. Students will study her. People will remember her contributions decades from now. But imagine spending years learning how to throw fucking punches and never learning how to form an intelligent fucking thought. That's not masculinity. That's not toughness. That's just a fragile fucking ego wrapped in muscle tissue. And the saddest part, you thought that moment would make you look powerful. Instead, all it did was show the world exactly how fucking ignorant you are.
When Josh Hokit says what he says about Mrs. Obama on the White House lawn, right, a place where she represented our country with grace, right? Like you say, regardless of politics, the way that those two humans conducted themselves while they were representing our country was something that we could be proud of, at least in my opinion. When he says that, Dana, is there a way that Daniel or Joe or John can be like, hey, look, that doesn't represent what we all feel? Or even you afterwards, is there a way that you guys can come out and say that's his freedom of speech? That's something that us as the UFC, we totally disagree with.
Well, if you look leading into that show, you know, everybody was talking about, you know, you got the people that are always going to say, oh, this is a political, you know, this is a MAGA party. This is, you know, the president's, he's throwing his own birthday party and all this bullshit. It's the 250th birthday of America. And to have the opportunity to be able to celebrate that at the White House the way we did, and I said leading up to that fight, if you're far left, if you're far right, if you're right down the middle, this show is for everybody that is an American. We're going to talk about the history of America, and it's at the White House and all this stuff. And obviously, you know, Barack and Michelle Obama are public figures. And when you're a public figure, I mean, you guys know, I'm sure you guys deal with your own level of bullshit and people talking. It's just, it's part of the gig. But what I don't like, first of all, former First Lady of the United States, number one. Number two, a wife, a mother. It's just, it's fucking gross, right? Inappropriate, the timing of it and everything. But, and I think that people understand, you know, that is not, there's people that you can't talk to and you can't change their mind and you can't whatever. Obviously not the opinion of the UFC and not my opinion or anybody else that fought on that card. And it was a really unfortunate thing to happen that night that just, when you hit this fucking grand slam home run and have a perfect event in every way that it could be.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
You got a fucking moronic, you know, it just, ugh. But, you know, other than that, it was a great fucking night.
Yeah,
what are you going to do?
Well, okay. I'm very proud to be an American, no matter who the president is. And I think that that is important to spend some time on, especially as we head into the 250th birthday. The contrast was stark. I thought the flyover looked really cool. UFC is not my jam. I wouldn't watch it in the garden and don't want to watch it on the lawn. But Jesse's saying, oh, this is, you know, about America's birthday, et cetera. It was not lost on anyone that you could only watch it on Paramount Plus, on David Ellison's streaming service, or that he's paying the fighters in crypto and it's the Trump family coin.
Paramount owns UFC. They own the rights.
If it's for all of us, they should have found a way so that all of us could watch. And you've got to mention, and I know you probably don't want to, that the guy who won at the end, that Josh Hokit, gets up there and says, Michelle Obama is a man. That was his final message. So you had a guy who vomited on himself during a weigh-in the day before, stands up there, Joe Rogan, maybe he was paralyzed in the moment and didn't think, oh, I should emphasize the fact that Michelle Obama, a former first lady, since we're talking about patriotism and paying our respects to the White House and those who have come before us, is not a man.
He's not running for Senate.
It doesn't. And then the White House today won't even clean it up. Stephen Chung's like, well, Josh Hokit had a great night. Dana White's out there saying this is no good. Portnoy, Shane Gillis, everybody knows that it is repulsive, and I presume you guys know this as well. That shouldn't.
How about
be.
Plattner?
Why can't you just say that the guy should never have said that Michelle
Because
Obama
I'm merely
was
pointing out
and
there's
they're gonna
nobody
sue them
on
for
the left that has
defamation?
any credibility to ask us that question.
Why can't, because we don't know what a woman is? Is that what you're trying?
No, because you guys have kept silent on everything. Hell, I seem to remember not too long ago how often I heard that Melania Trump was an escort. And from a lot of people who are now huffing and huffing, people who say that a black kid who stabs a white kid, that was just him defending himself. People faking Charlie Kirk getting stabbed in the neck, thinking it's funny. People hoping for another Luigi Mangione to take out Elon Musk, or perhaps Trump, or maybe both. See, we don't have to listen. In fact, we enjoy it when you're upset. That guy is a troll. He showed up at the weigh-in pretending he was drunk and was throwing up applesauce as a fake pretense because he was pretending he was scared. That's called a troll. We get it. Not our fault if you don't. He knows it's going to upset you. He's a troll. You give a mic to a troll.
Some standards.
That was
Vote for Plattner.
That's what his point was.
Vote
Emily,
for
give us a
Plattner.
final word. We have to be quick.
You lost your credibility.
Yeah.
Michelle Obama is overreacting and making a big deal out of nothing.
Oh, Josh, you could have handled that so much better. But you didn't. You could have apologized. You could have made it right. But instead, you accused a woman that you used as a butt of a cheap joke. Or you called it a joke. But a lot of us didn't find that funny. But you chose to blame her for overreacting. You lost your sponsorships. You've been taken off of the card, I guess that's a thing. So the UFC is kind of canceling you, and your brands are canceling you, and you're being sued, and rightfully so. So, yeah, maybe in the future, don't even say shit like that. But also, the next best thing when you fuck up is to apologize. Okay?
Last night, a UFC fighter screamed, Michelle Obama is a man, on the White House lawn. Donald Trump was in the front row. He smiled, did not condemn what was said, and no statement has been made by the White House. The silence is the answer. But I want to clarify exactly who Michelle Obama really is. Michelle Obama is a Harvard-educated lawyer. Michelle Obama is also a best-selling author on the New York Times list. Michelle Obama is a mother, a daughter, and she's a daughter of someone from Southside Chicago who made the entire world proud. Michelle Obama stood by President Obama as the first Black First Lady in America while supporting her husband, who was the first Black president. And she did it with dignity. Entering the most scrutinized position, left it with dignity and handled it with dignity the entire time. They have been trying to diminish this woman and her power since 2008. And while you might not understand how dignity works, what you are doing is defamation of character. She is and always has been America's first lady. Full fucking stop.
Shannon Sharpe is going off on Josh Hokit for calling Michelle Obama a man. So this past weekend, UFC fighter Josh Hokit won the biggest fight of his career, beating Derek Lewis at the White House event. Big moment. But instead of celebrating, he grabbed the mic during his interview and decided to call Michelle Obama a man. And Shannon Sharpe was not having it. On his show Nightcap, Shannon broke it down piece by piece. First, he pointed out the hypocrisy. There's a whole crowd that screams athletes should keep politics out of sports. But you're literally holding a fight at the White House. Sports and politics have always been intertwined. He went all the way back talking about Jesse Owens in Berlin in 1936, Joe Louis knocking out Max Schmeling, Jack Johnson, the segregation era when black athletes weren't even allowed to compete. His point was clear. This isn't new. Then he got to the heart of it. Shannon said Hokit was trying to take the Conor McGregor route, build a character, create controversy, sell the fight. But he went about it the wrong way. McGregor goes after the man he's actually fighting. Hokit went after what Shannon called low-hanging fruit, taking a shot at a woman who had nothing to do with the fight. And Shannon...
Anyway, thank you for watching The Great Minds Blacks. See you in the next video. One love.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.